Netflix, $18 a month. Spotify, $12. $30 gone before you've pressed play on anything. That's not the number that matters. This is, over 30 years, that's roughly $11,000 for a library you can't ever actually keep. Somewhere in a data center right now, a licensing contract is expiring. When it does, a movie you loved disappears. Not because you did anything, but because a lawyer in another building let a deal lapse. You were never renting the movie. You were renting permission. Here's the machine underneath Netflix. It doesn't own most of what it streams either. It leases catalog rights, title by title, region by region, for fixed windows. When the window closes, the title vanishes for everyone, everywhere, all at once. In 2023 alone, over 200 titles vanished from major streamers in a single quarter, some after just weeks. Spotify's done the same with entire artist catalogs during rights disputes. The infinite library was never infinite. It was a lease with an eviction clause. Even what stays feels rented. Spotify's algorithm decides what you hear first. Licenses can restrict skips on free tiers, and your 15 years of listening history lives on a server you don't control. You didn't build a music collection. You built a very expensive rental history. So here's the alternative: a machine you own outright, sitting in a closet or on a shelf, running software with no login wall and no monthly invoice. Not a metaphor, an actual box with actual parts that you can open up and inspect. Ledger entry. Streaming is a recurring invisible tax on content you never keep. $30 a month forever for access that can be revoked. A self-hosted server flips that. One build, one bill, and the content sits on a drive you physically hold. Let's do the real math, not the marketing math. Netflix standard, $17,999. Spotify premium, $11,999. That's $29.98 a month. And both companies have raised prices at least 4 times combined since 2019. $29.98 a month is $359.76 a year. That's before the next price hike, which history says is coming. Streaming prices don't go down. They ratchet up quietly, $1 or $2 at a time, and you barely notice because it's autopay. Run that 360 a year out 3 decades, ignore hikes entirely just to be generous, and you land at roughly $10,800. Include realistic price increases and you're closer to $14,000, $15,000 for movies and songs you never get to actually keep. Compare that to a one-time build, a used mini PC or an old laptop you already own, a couple of external hard drives, maybe $150, $300 total if you're buying everything new. That's it. No recurring bill, no auto pay, no price hike email in your inbox every March. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Live Directory, link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. So what's actually in the machine? 3 parts: hardware to run it, software to organize it, and a library of media you actually own. Let's take them one at a time, starting with hardware, because you probably already own the hardest part. An old laptop from 2015 works. A Raspberry Pi 3575 plus works. A cheap mini PC off Facebook Marketplace, 60, 150s works. A NAS with a couple drive bays is the nicer option, but it's optional, not required. The point, this isn't a gaming rig. It barely needs to be a computer. Most people asking about this already have the hardware sitting in a drawer. A laptop replaced 2 upgrades ago. Still perfectly capable of shuffling video files to a TV. Add a $40 external hard drive for storage and your starting cost is close to $0. Now the library. And let's be precise, because this only works if it's legitimate. Rip your own DVDs and Blu-rays. Rip your own CDs. Buy DRM-free music from Bandcamp or 7 Digital. Pull from public domain film archives and Creative Commons catalogs. All of it yours, free and clear. One honest aside, yes, other files exist online. That's not what this is about. The entire point of owning a private server is that you actually own the media on it. Not that you found a shortcut around paying anyone ever. Ownership, not theft. That's the whole thesis. The software that turns a folder of files into your own Netflix is called Jellyfin. It's free, open source, no account required, no paywall hiding behind a free trial, no upsell screen. That's not a marketing claim, it's the actual license. Jellyfin scans your library, pulls posters and metadata, builds a home screen grid that looks almost exactly like Netflix's. Same rows, same hover previews, except every single row is something you already own, and nobody's algorithm decided what goes at the top. You'll also hear about Plex. It's the popular gateway drug into this hobby, and it works fine, but Plex nudges you toward Plex Pass for features Jellyfin gives away free. If the whole point is escaping subscriptions, Jellyfin is the one that actually means it. For music, the tool is Navidrome, or Jellyfin's own music module. Point it at a folder of ripped CDs and purchase DRM-free tracks, and it becomes a Spotify clone you stream to your phone, your car, your speakers, minus the monthly fee, minus the algorithm renting back your own taste. Building the music library is the slow part. Ripping a CD collection or buying tracks you already love in DRM-free format instead of streaming them again for the 1000th time. But it's a one-time cost per song, not a fee you pay every single month forever. Power users add tools like the R stack to automate organizing and fetching cover art and subtitles. Nice to have, not required. For most people, Jellyfin plus a folder of files gets you 90% of the experience with 10% of the fuss. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below, costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. Here's the honest catch, because I'm not selling you a fantasy. This takes a weekend to set up properly and a little upkeep after that. You won't get day one new releases. This trades a bit of convenience for a lot of control. That trade is the entire point. Setup, roughly, install Jellyfin on your device. Free download, 10 minutes. Point it at a folder of your media. It scans, organizes, builds your library automatically. That's the entire technical bar for the private Netflix half of this project. Add libraries as you go. Movies, TV, music, home videos, even audiobooks. Jellyfin treats them all the same way. Scan, organize, serve. Drop a new ripped Blu-ray into the folder and it appears on every device within minutes. No upload, no processing fee, no waiting. Want it on your phone, off your home network? Jellyfin apps exist for iOS, Android, Roku, Fire TV, and smart TVs with secure remote access options. Same private library wherever you are. No data cap, no "this content isn't available in your region" message. Upkeep is light but real. Occasional software updates, occasionally adding new rips, occasionally replacing a drive when it dies in 5 or 10 years. Call it an hour a month. Compare that hour to the $30 a month you're not paying anymore. Let's tally the actual build cost. Hardware you already own, $0. A couple of external hard drives, roughly 80 or 150. Jellyfin software, $0 permanently. Total realistic first-year cost for most people, under $200, often under $50 if you're resourceful. Set that $200 one-time cost against $360 a year in subscriptions. you break even before month 8. Everything after that, every month, every year, for the rest of your life, is money that simply stays in your account instead of leaving it automatically. There's a quieter payoff too: permanence. The movie your dad showed you as a kid doesn't vanish because a licensing deal expired. The album that got you through a bad year doesn't get pulled because an artist had a dispute with a label. It's just there, forever. That library outlives the subscription era entirely. Hand someone a hard drive in 20 years and it still plays. Hand someone your Netflix login in 20 years and there's a good chance neither the account nor half the catalog still exists. Final ledger entry: 30 years of Netflix and Spotify runs roughly $11,000 and you end with nothing. A self-hosted server runs roughly $150–300 total, and you end with a library that's actually yours. No invisible tax, no expiration date, no algorithm in between. This isn't an argument to cancel every streaming service tomorrow. New releases still need a rental model. It's an argument that the stuff you actually love, the stuff you'd want in 30 years, deserves to be owned outright, not leased back to you monthly. Own everything you can, rent only what you must. A weekend of setup buys you a media library no company can ever repossess, price hike, or quietly delete at 2 a.m. That's the whole machine, and it's already sitting in your closet.